Now, your News 8 forecast first.
Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. Thanks for getting up with us here on News 8 at sunrise. Temperatures right now, upper 60s to around 70. It's mild. It's getting less humid, though, starting to get a little more comfortable. A couple of spotty showers, especially on the west side of town right now, and sprinkles. Nothing major, but enough to dampen spots up a little bit here and there. Now, your forecast first goes like this. Shower or two this morning, and then more in the way of sunny develops late morning into the afternoon, just in time for lunchtime into the second half of the day. High temperatures today, much cooler, low 80s with a nice refreshing breeze. Talk more about your forecast in just a bit. News 8 at sunrise starts right now.
Now on News 8.
The father of one of the boys heard taunting a Grease bus monitor in the now viral YouTube video apologizes. Police investigate an overnight shooting on Rochester's north side. Rochester Police Chief Jim Shepard says officers were justified in using deadly force against Israel Andino.
Live from WROC, this is News 8 at sunrise.
Good morning. It's 6:30. I'm Tina Shively in for Katrina Irwin this morning. The story of Karen Klein, the bus monitor taunted by students from Greece Athena Middle School, has gained international attention. Joining us now live at Greece Athena Middle School, CBS News national correspondent Jim Axelrod. Good morning, Jim.
Hey, good morning, Tina. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Video tough to watch for all of us, especially for parents, I would imagine. Now, you were there when one of the parents of the boys on that tape apologized to Klein. What was that moment like?
Well, you know, this story is so complex. I mean, there's so much to be outraged about, but there was also this other side we witnessed last night. I mean, this father showed up. He certainly didn't know the television cameras were there. And we watched him walk up the driveway and very earnestly issue a heartfelt apology to Karen Klein, which struck me as entirely earnest, in which he said he was horrified. His son was certainly going to make sure this was a life-changing moment for his son. And she was very gracious and generous in accepting it. They hugged, there was an embrace. And then I interviewed him afterwards and asked him how he was feeling. And he said he was sad, he was enraged, but the one thing that he wanted to make sure about was that his son learned this very important lesson and that Karen knew just how sorry the family was. And it was quite something to witness.
A lot of people contributing to an online fund set up for Klein. Close to $450,000 at last look.
My
Jim,
goodness.
I know you spoke with her at length as well. Any idea what she plans to do with all that money?
Well, you know, she's flabbergasted, and, you know, she's one of these people who suddenly woke up, you know, at the end of the week is a much different life for Karen Klein than the beginning of the week. She's in the middle of this national, even international story right now. I don't think she's had 2 seconds to worry about something other than who the next reporter is who's going to stick a camera in her face. So she's talked about some new furniture, maybe, sharing it with her kids. But I think right now, I think what Karen Klein wants to do is take a long nap.
Right. Been very busy the last couple of days. You mentioned international, Jim. YouTube video, 3.5 million people have seen it now. Any idea what kind of impact this is having on a larger scale when it comes to the campaign against bullying?
Yeah, you know, I think that's exactly what's going on here, Tina, is that I suspect that this really resonates with this sort of national sense of outrage about the bullying incidents that seem to be so prevalent. YouTube and Facebook not only have changed our culture, but really come to play a very interesting role in what's happening here with Karen Klein, because so many people around the world could see what was happening and wanted to do something to express not just their outrage about what happened, but their support for Karen Klein. You end up with 400,000 or 500,000 people each wanting to send a buck. The power of social media, the power of YouTube in terms of people seeing what happened, and you end up with this woman at the end of this week with $450,000 looking at her right in the face. It's a remarkable coincidence and a coming together of all of these different factors that shape our modern life. This has been a fascinating thing to watch unfold in the Rochester area.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jim Axelrod, reporting for us live this morning in Greece. You can catch his full report at 7 on CBS This Morning. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
And there is a rally taking place for Klein tonight. It's planned for 7 at the Apollo Middle School. That's located on Maiden Lane in Greece. Turning to some overnight news now, one man was shot multiple times in Rochester, happening just after 1 o'clock this morning. Rochester police say the 28-year-old Rochester man was shot on Agnes Street and then found on Cleon Street. He was taken to Strong Hospital and rushed into emergency surgery. We're told he is expected to survive. Police are still looking for a suspect in that case. Rochester's Police Chief Jim Axelrod says officers involved in a deadly shooting on Locust Street Thursday morning were justified in their actions. Axelrod says 20-year-old Israel Andino fired a gun at police just before 7:30 yesterday morning. 7 officers returned fire, killing Andino. Friends and neighbors held a vigil for Andino. He would have celebrated his 20th birthday yesterday. Witnesses dispute the police version of events, saying Andino never fired his gun and that officers used excessive force.
The police shot like 15 or 20 shots, but there was like a firecracker. Boom, 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 boom.
They attempted to deploy a less lethal option, a taser. This option was ineffective, and their subsequent actions were unavoidable. However, they were consistent with their training.
Rochester Mayor Tom Richards calls the shooting a tragedy, saying it will be investigated. Police responded to Locust Street after Andino called 911, telling the dispatcher that he stabbed his mother. Her injuries are non-life-threatening. Time now for a check of our morning forecast. John, a bit cooler out there today.
Yeah, it's going to be actually significantly cooler later on. You'll notice the differences. We're not going to be getting into the 90s. Instead, we'll do the low 80s. So definitely noticeable differences as we go through this Friday. I think a lot of you will be relieved that we're going to be so much cooler and less humid. Grass pollen and weed pollen, that's the issue today on the moderate side. So if you suffer from one of those allergies or both, you'll feel it somewhat. It shouldn't be too bad, but you'll definitely feel it some. Temperatures, as Tina was mentioned, really a little bit cooler, but not much cooler right now. When you're really going to notice it is come late this morning, this afternoon, and we're not going to be jumping well into the 80s and low 90s. Instead, yes, it's going to be warm, but not uncomfortable as it was the last 2 or 3 days, or as uncomfortable. Storm Doppler radar showing we got a little shower moving its way across the viewing area. Churchville, especially just east of Churchville, Davis Road, White Fawn Lane, Beaver Road, picking up a little bit of a light shower, a few sprinkles. You can see the wider view of the Storm Doppler radar showing these couple light showers traversing the area. Your morning commute could feature a shower or two, no biggie, mid-60s to low 70s. The ride home, a lot of sunshine or a good deal of sunshine, mid-70s to around 80, much more comfortable, nice refreshing breeze. On the water, 1 to as much as 3-foot waves developing, especially late morning into the afternoon as winds pick up and shift to the northwest in the wake of a cold front. On the golf course, breezy, morning shower or 2 or sprinkle or 2, otherwise looks great, especially for the late morning and the afternoon for your round of golf. At the ballpark, Frontier Field, going to watch the Red Wings play Charlotte. Go Red Wings! Mid-70s, looks like a beautiful evening to catch a ball game. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to be out there. Partly cloudy and pleasant for tonight, mid to upper 50s. And as we go through the weekend, some sun, nice tomorrow. Could be a few scattered showers or thunder shower later on Sunday.
I was out there on Wednesday night, and I thought with the temperatures in the 90s, it was going to be really hot. But, you know, by 7 o'clock, the sun's gone down.
Once the sun goes down, yeah, and there's a little bit of a breeze like there was Wednesday. It's not too bad.
Not too bad. Thank you, John.
Sure.
It is 6:37 now. Coming up next in our GRE Morning Business Report, millions of people in the U.S. could get rebates from their health care insurance companies. And it's a big day for American Airlines in its fight against its unions. Details coming up next on News 8 at Sunrise.
You're watching the team you can trust. Katrina Irwin and Rochester's most accurate forecast with meteorologist John DePasquale. This is News 8 at Sunrise.